One thing I can't stand is when a travel blogger goes to a city for a long weekend and then produces a video on the 10 best things to do in that city. How the hell do you know the 10 best things if you've only been there for such a short time? That's why I'm making a video for people visiting London who want the opinions of someone who actually lives in London. Make sure to watch until the end when I share with you something that I think Americans living in London know that people born in London probably don't. Now, I understand that all of this sounds really funny with an American accent, right? Or should I say, in it? In it is a phrase that you might hear Londoners use. It sounds really stupid if you don't have a British accent, like me, and I can imagine British people watching this are going to have a lot of things to say in the comments. That's fine. My point is, Americans, while you're here, don't try to use British slang phrases. I've lived in London 3 times during my life and moved here 4 years ago permanently. My husband and his parents were born in North London. These are the 10 things that we know about visiting London that you probably don't. The first thing a local Londoner would do is eat a full English breakfast. English people do not like sugary things in the morning. Instead, they have things like baked beans and roasted tomatoes and fried bread and perhaps blood pudding. Number 2, a proper Londoner on a Sunday would have a Sunday lunch either at home or at a pub. It features things like roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, and vegetables, and is so delicious. If you are from London and you're watching, please in the comments leave your suggestions for where people can find the best Sunday lunches in London. Number 3 is most Londoners use the Underground. The difference is while you're here, you'll probably buy a travel card or even an Oyster card. Londoners will use their bank card as they go through the turnstiles. There's also a lot to know about the etiquette on the Underground, which I have a blog post for, and various other tips about traveling around London, including it's not always efficient to take a train places. Sometimes instead of changing trains, it's faster to walk. Londoners avoid Oxford Street. They don't call the busiest tube station in London Oxford Circus for nothing. Oxford Street is full of delirious tourists. You might find Londoners near the area at Christmas because there are some places they have to go for Christmas shopping. If you're looking for great places to shop in London, I have a few videos on that. In reality, Regent Street has much better shopping. Just think of Oxford Circus as the equivalent of Times Square in New York. Londoners understand their tipping system. If you've watched my video on advice for Americans visiting pubs, then you already know how to tip when you go to a pub. Tipping here isn't nearly the same as it is in America. The biggest tip I can give you is when you're at a restaurant and you get the bill, check the bottom to see if the standard 12.5% for gratuity has already been added so you don't make the mistake of double tipping. A lot of people know that the museums in London are free. However, Londoners know that the best cafe in a museum is at the V&A. Londoners know there's a lot of green space here. There are tons of royal parks in London. My suggestion if you're a runner is you hit Hyde Park and Regent's Park while you're here. You'll often see people running along the Thames, which is not the Thames, it's the Thames, on an area called the Embankment. You're not going to see anything green, unless of course maybe you see some algae, but it's a nice view, it's just not in a royal park. There's also green space in the sky, and that is Sky Garden. You obviously can't run there, but it does offer kick-ass views of London, and it's free. You just have to book your time and ticket in advance. There's details on my blog post. Number 8, Londoners take their time. If you're used to a New York minute, you need to leave that behind when you visit London. Number 9, most Londoners use Citymapper, and it's very likely on their phones they have an app for the Underground too. Before we hit the end, pin, like, or share this video if you found it valuable. If you're from London, please leave in the comments below other things that you know about London that Americans visiting for the first time might not. And if you're visiting London, what else would you like to know? Number 10 is something that Americans living here know that people born here probably don't, and that is the coffee sucks. I have tried coffee at Pret, at Costa and Cafe Nero, and none of it tastes right, and it's always served in cups that are way too small. There are tons of videos in my playlists about visiting London, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the sunny news. And as always, thank you for watching.